Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Whether you're in need of a website, domain or online store, make your next move with Squarespace. So recently I've been thinking of a way to fill in the gaps between the main full production videos. It's quite hard to film them every week, so I've been thinking of how to make something else to fit in between. And this is what I've come up with. I'm going to try and make a video every other week, just going through what I'm up to in my photographic life. That sounds weird. What I mean is, when I'm out taking photos, I don't want to show you what I'm eating for dinner every night. I want to show you the cool photographic things that I get up to. Hopefully this will be interesting in the future. Maybe there'll be some books thrown into this and what I find inspiring, but this is merely the pilot to see if it's at all interesting. So hopefully you like it. Hello. So I just got the train down to Brighton because I'm meeting up with Jack Latham. He's agreed to take a portrait of me on his 8x10 and he's also on assignment at the moment, so that'd be interesting just to see what he's up to. So that's what we're doing.
Hello, negative feedback. I'm back.
What are we doing today, Jack?
We are photographing Georgie Boy's profile picture for his...
It's not just the profile picture. It's not that self-indulgent.
No. Well, I'm taking a portrait of George today in beautiful, stunning East Sussex, or West Sussex. Sussex.
So we just got to this location. This is where Jack has chosen that he wants to take this photo. However, it's covered in stinging nettles, which he claims he didn't know before sending us here. So this may be slightly interesting. So when I asked you, I literally said nothing. I just said, can you take my picture? What went through your head? What have you pre-envisioned?
I was here during the summer and I thought it was quite a nice place, but it was like an excuse to be outside. But we were originally going to go somewhere else, but I got cold feet on the way. And mainly it's because you get to see lovely dogs when you're shooting. I think it's a nice backdrop. We're in Sussex, so it would be nice to actually photograph Sussex as opposed to...
But what does that mean to me? I don't live here.
No, but I do. You wanted my photograph. You wanted me to take your photograph. How
rude, you didn't travel to me. How rude.
I feel this is going to be a hit piece. When I take portraits, I like to not plan too far ahead, and a case in point. But this, I think, is maybe a bit of an exception. That I've been here before, but I've never been able to take a picture that I like here.
Okay.
I've never had a reason to take a picture here. So I thought this would be a good excuse to come back. We may go somewhere else after, but because of daylight savings time, we're running out of light quite quickly, so I'm going to shoot 10:8 as quickly as I can. Finally, the time we've ever used this spot meter. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, 5 that's perfect. Can I have a look through?
Yeah,
So I'm doing it 60th of a second at f11. What do you know what to do? So you just go there. That's one. Okay, same again. Just tilt your chin up a little bit. There we go. Wonderful. There we go. If you want to stay there for a second, and I try to do this when I'm working, but I always forget.
The ground glass?
Yeah, just so I used to draw pictures on my notebook,
Okay.
so I could as I was working, I could edit in my head. But my drawing skills aren't as good as they used to be. Okay, stare at the black thing. Maybe just make your posture a bit higher. There we go. Perfect.
Like, what are we actually shooting?
So I was asked by Grey London, an ad agency, to create a body of work in response to the word first. So I'm going around Brighton and photographing places where people had their first kiss, which is why we're in this lovely park today.
I think a lot of people have questions about like concepts. Why did you come up with this?
I think I like all of my work, it's the history of place. I just like that things have happened in spaces, and it's the context of those actions that define the spaces almost. I've always loved the fact that you can walk past something and it can just be ordinary to someone but extraordinary for other people.
Why are you using this big old flash?
I don't use flash much in my work, so I'm trying to use it as much as possible now. But it was just part of the brief. There was this particular aesthetic that I wanted to go for, and this kind of like heavy flash aesthetic is something which I'm experimenting with at the moment.
Like, how have you gone about finding these places?
So I work. I have an assistant here in Brighton called Jack also, and he is a bit younger than I am, so he was able to ask a lot of his young couples where they had their first kisses, and kind of compiled a list. And so the reason we're in Hove Park is one of his friends had their first kiss here, so we've come here and just trying to photograph something that looks kind of unassuming but could have the suggestion that something nice might have happened there.
Hello, so a few days have passed since I was in Brighton, and today I'm looking to be shooting something else. So I recently picked up this camera, which is actually a camera I used to own and sold to buy something else. It's a Canham DLC45, and personally I think it's the best 4x5 camera available. There's lots of movements, but it's also really portable and easy to fold up. So I'm going to be loading up some film to do some test shots, and I'm going to be using this HP5. And one little tip, if you're getting into shooting large format, definitely make a little marking on the box when you load your film, because then you know how much you have left. So what am I actually shooting, you may be wondering? And the answer to that is a birthday present for my mum. She's always asked me if I could make some photos of trees that she could have as a print, and I've always put it off because it's not something that I particularly enjoy photographing, but considering it's her birthday coming up next week, I thought I could make the exception. So comboing testing this camera out with also doing that, then hopefully I should be able to drop it off and get it hand printed later this week. So I just ended up exposing two sheets. The first one I took at f16 and the second one I took at f8. I thought that something a bit more shallow could actually be beneficial. It could add a nice atmosphere to the photo. So I've just ended up coming back to the woods a few days later. Because the sun has started shining for once. It's been a really miserable week, and I thought as an alternative to the quite gloomy versions of this photo, why not try and take another one when it was a bit sunnier? So in the end I ended up choosing the photo from the second shoot, the one with the same composition just with different lighting. I think the added subtle look really kind of played into its favour. So I'm going to drop that off next week and get it hand printed, which hopefully I'll be able to film and should be interesting. The next week's video is about printing colour film. Hopefully that's going to be really cool. Had a good time doing it, and hopefully it's something that you can learn from. Then after that I'm heading out to New York and Toronto, so there's lots of fun things coming in the future, so definitely stay tuned. And just before this video comes to an end, I'd like to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this episode. If you're looking to build a new website for your photographic portfolio or much more, definitely give Squarespace a try. It's really easy to build a lovely looking site, and you definitely don't need any pre-existing knowledge. And you can get 10% off using the code negativefeedback. So thank you very much for watching, and I'm sure there'll be another video very soon.